we had out of nowhere another song reveal this morning. Well, my morning, because I'm California. I woke up and I was like, ding, 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 ding. You get my phone goes crazy. Greece has decided to drop their song on a Sunday, right after the big shows. We already knew it was Victor Vernicos, the 16-year-old singer, barely legal to take part in Eurovision, old enough. The name of the song is What They Say. And of course, we want Greece in the finals. We want everyone in the finals, to be fair. So can we just have a 37 final? But the song is out, and unfortunately, I cannot play the whole song. I can barely play snippets. So I just a very short teaser, and I had to change the pitch. So don't judge me, but here's just a little bit of a taste.
Late August, feet start to shake, heart starts to ache, can't focus. Well, you know what they say, the last souls make sure no one loses their way. Nostalgic, I miss the days when my heart would ache. Well, you know what they say, our souls make sure no one loses their way.
So that's just, again, slight pitch changes and just a few snippets here to give you an idea. Those who haven't listened to it yet, go to the Eurovision channel or to Panic Records website at the channel. They have that song out there. And let's talk this through. Let's start with you, Roy. Your first impression.
Yeah, so right before we were going to go live into this live stream, literally at like 20 before 8 or 7 my time, you were like, oh, by the way, you also need to be familiar with Greece. And I did not film my reaction yet. So I was like, panicking all over the place, need to put my setup ready, my camera ready, and then like record my reaction to it because I hadn't heard it yet because I had like a handball game and stuff. So I did it very quickly, but I'm quite glad that I did because I quite enjoyed the song. I really like how it's like a bit more pacey in the chorus. It's very clap-alongable as well, which is always very good for Eurovision, I think. I also really like how they, after the first chorus, they kind of introduce the bass very slowly. Like it's there very sporadically, and it gets like a bit bigger, and then it explodes towards the second chorus, which is really well done. Very nice little detail that I love they put in there. I really like the song from Greece this year. Yeah.
And it's very interesting when I listen to it. First of all, the young singer, his enunciation is very interesting, very British. Is he like British Greek, or is he just like enunciating it that way? Because the entire song almost gave me a little bit of a British vibe.
I honestly don't know. Maybe people in the chat knows that.
Yeah, I was just curious. So, of course, on paper, I miss the Greek ethnic sound. I always wonder from Greece. I understand that they can do that every year. It becomes a little predictable, but I haven't done it in a few years. So I'm always like, give me that. But I think they're trying to go away from that as well a little bit.
Danish Greek, people are saying.
What? Danish Greek. Well, that's a little random. So nothing Brit there. I will say what I really appreciate about this song, first of all, is that the trend of really well-written lyrics continues here. I think this is a very well-crafted piece from just a content perspective. And I'm just like, it keeps me more interested, and rather just having I fly high, so why, goodbye, my, So
Fire desire.
Fire desire. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Let's go.
Oh, and nothing wrong. Every once in a while, it works, like for silliness. I'm not saying you cannot do it, but if that's all you do, like this one I thought was very well written. It's not like an immediate catchy song in many ways, right? It'll heavily rely on the message and the ultimate presentation of the song. So this will be a feel if done right. And when you get people into that feel, this song could do well. I don't think it'll make big waves in the community, in the Eurovision bubble. It doesn't seem like people will be like, oh, this is a qualifier, this is a winner, because it's not it doesn't have an immediate hook. It is a very stylized song almost, and people will either get it or they won't. But it shouldn't always be the ultimate goal just to please the bubble. I think it's, putting something else forward is great. And I agree with what you're saying. While it may not be the immediate, like, this is the song, it's a really good song. And that's just what it is to me. It's just a really good, well-crafted song. And I'm really dying to see what they're going to come up with on the stage in Liverpool, because it's one of those songs. I've been saying that a lot this year, but it feels like it's especially true in 23. The staging will make or break it in the presentation. Because if I don't know how good he's still very young. Not the least experienced singer, interestingly enough, but certainly not, on a big stage like that. That is a very different feel. So I feel pretty good about it. And any questions in the chat or state, I would love to hear from you all what your thoughts are on Greece at ESC United in the chat. Greece will qualify no matter the song. Well, I agree already with that statement, but we'll go into a second. They have Cyprus, Albania, Armenia, Georgia, and Denmark. He's Danish, and Belgium and Australia give points to them too. Okay, if adding that one, that's a little bit more of a caveat. Do you think that is because Greece doesn't qualify by default, right? We've seen them flop before in the televote and with the jury, so they're not guaranteed. But what this user is saying is they have a lot of support based on traditional voting patterns in the semi. Do you think there is merit to this?
I mean, I don't necessarily think this song sounds like something necessarily those countries would love. I think Denmark would be one of the countries that would love this song. I just think in general, Greece often sends quite a good song to Eurovision. And I think that's also why they have such a good track record. It's not just your neighbors. Like, that's not how you're going to win Eurovision or how you're going to qualify immediately. And it's really funny how like both Greece and Cyprus go for more of a slow route this year. Like usually they're like the happy banger song countries. And then this year they're both like ballad. I mean, is this a ballad? Probably is.
Yeah, certainly on the slower side. Yeah, it's
exactly.
Yeah. I expect Greece to do way better than the fandom thinks. It's exactly the kind of song that fandom won't root for.
Exactly.
Because it's not like a snatch your wig kind of song. It's really just more like depth to it. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on like other songs that have a different mission, and like a different field they're going for. But as I point out, these songs often get overlooked. Again, I'm not confident, but I'm not also discouraged. And Greece is in the second semi, which a lot of people say it's a little bit more open. Is that fair to say, Roy? Do you agree?
I definitely think so. When trying to predict it already, it was like quite difficult already. And I think also Greece, this type of song, the juries often like quite a lot. But also I think a lot of locals, people who are not necessarily in the bubble, will appreciate this type of song as well. So I think Greece has got quite some material here. It just depends on the live performance. It depends on how the staging is, like you said, and how they will convey the message. But I think Greece can end up in a very good finishing position this year.
Yeah. And now it's the moment of truth. Here is the poll, y'all.
Ooh.
Is Greece going to qualify from semi to we still have two songs out that we don't know, Armenia and Georgia, and both could really throw a wrench into my prediction here right now. At this point, I'm 50-50 on Greece. I'm 50-50. But I will say yes. How about you, Roy?
I think definitely.
I'm more confident.
Yeah, I think like 80% sure that Greece will qualify with this song.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, his inexperience is the biggest doubt in my mind, because we've often seen that a few younger singers who aren't as experienced can't maybe fully cope with all of the things that Eurovision throws at you. That's quite difficult. And maybe vocally it will be a little bit more shaky because of that. But other than that, I think this is a very solid song. And yeah, I think it got good chances.
Yeah, and I see that while it's certainly not a landslide, as of right now, the poll is 60-40.
Oh.
So it is leaning yes.
That could also be like, we kind of say that this is not the type of song that the fandom will necessarily love or eat up. So who knows?
Our audience is still well more enlightened.
Our audience is fantastic. Definitely.
Yes. They get it. They get it. So yeah, we got over 100 votes in. So that's just, it's 57% now. That's how the poll ended. Say yes, it will qualify. So it's not a certain qualifier based on our predictions. Again, we'll do that again once the rehearsals, we know all of that stuff, and we have all of the songs. Any other questions or thoughts about Greece in the chat? Let's talk this through at ESC United.
Yes.
Is it Greek strategy going forward to pick songs with Nordic backgrounds? So they're the next Azerbaijan, Roy. Although Azerbaijan are going a different route, but anyways, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know, to be honest, but it is quite a nice convenience that, or like coincidence, moreover, that they have like a Greek Norwegian girl represent them the first year, and then now a Danish Greek guy. That's quite funny. I don't know, and also like the year before they had it from the Netherlands, so like that's not necessarily
Oh yeah, that's
Nordic.
true. Yeah,
But maybe they do find artists.
It's
that, like,
Nordic
have
compared to where
double...
they are, so I guess
I mean, then definitely that's a true statement because there's not many countries that go southern of Greece.
It's gonna be in Africa at that point. That
Morocco return.
Oh, that would be. Don't get me excited. Don't do that, Roy. Don't.
I'm sorry.
One other statement here by Sina. There are too many televote heavy songs this year, so it will be split, and Lorraine will landslide the jury. Oh, I thought it was in regards to Greece. We'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. Do you think that's a fair statement, though, that there are a lot of televote friendly songs, and not because now that we don't have juries? I don't think people select the songs in their minds about that, though. I don't think that
No, definitely not. But yeah, there have been quite a lot of televote songs, but also usually the internal selected songs are more towards the jury side of things. So we are also slowly getting quite a lot of jury songs as well. So it is still quite balanced, I would say. But there is quite a lot of songs that will bank a bit on the televote.